Hello everyone! In this episode I'm gonna be building a typing game. Basically in this one you have to write the word. It will give you some score and more time. And yeah, when the time runs out, or if it does, basically I could continue this forever. The time is just increasing. But yeah, if the time runs out, it will run out and show your total score. So I'm gonna wait for 5 seconds right over here. And then it looks like time ran out. Your final score is 10. So yeah, every single word you write in will add an extra second to your time. So basically, if you write faster than 60 words per minute, you will never run out of time or run out of time. Anyways, let's get into this. So yeah. Alright, so here we are in Visual Studio Code right now. Let's start creating this. So yeah, I'm gonna type an exclamation mark like this, and it will create the HTML head element and body element and the HTML element for me in Visual Studio Code. So yeah, that's very useful. Then we can change the title to a typing speed game. Alright. Then I'm going to link the CSS style sheet inside of this one, like that. And I'm also going to need a font awesome link, so this is gonna be a style sheet as well. The href is this one. There we go. And let's be sure to close that. There we go. Alright. I think we got everything that we need to get started. Alright. So, let's start by creating a div element inside of the body section. This will be having the class of container. Inside will be an h2 heading that says typing speed game. There we go. Then let's use the small tag, and I'm gonna say type the word colon, and then h1. This is not gonna have any content yet, but I'm gonna set an ID. It's going to be word. So there we go. After that, I'm going to go ahead and create the input field. So input type is text, ID is text, and autocomplete off, and placeholder type here, or type the word. There we go. Alright, I think we have everything inside of that. Then I'm gonna create a paragraph. This is going to be for the time. Time left, colon, and let's use a span element with the ID of time. And inside of the span element I'm going to input the time. So the time will start at 12 seconds. Alright. Then we need the score, so paragraph ID score container, and the class will be the same. There we go. Inside I'm gonna write score colon and use a span element ID score, and initially it's going to be 0. There we go. Then I can get out from here. I'm gonna create the end game container. So another div with the ID of end game container, and class is going to be the same. And yeah, that div is going to be empty for now. We are going to create that with JavaScript. So let's go ahead and link in the index.js and let's get into styling this page then. So the source is index.js and there we go. Also, I'm gonna use a Google font, so I'm gonna use async defer. There we go. Alright, let's get to the styling of this page. So basically we are first going to import a Google font. So yeah, I'm basically just gonna copy that and then there we go. Let's type in import URL and this one and semicolon at the end. Then I'm gonna use the asterisk to select all the items and I'm gonna use the box sizing border box. Okay, then let's style the body of the element. Let's use a font family of, well, I kind of want to use this, so I can pretty much get rid of that. So yeah, let's set the background color to be HSL. I have already pre-picked this. So yeah, that's pretty good one, in my opinion. The display will be a flex box. Then we will have the justify content at the center and we'll align the items center. There we go. We'll make the margin 0 and minimum height will be 100 viewport heights. There we go. Alright. After the body element, I'm gonna take all the buttons. So we are only going to have one at the end of the game, but I'm gonna add a cursor pointer. The font size will be 16 pixels. Border radius, let's say 6 pixels. And padding will be 5 pixels by 10 pixels. Okay. And yep. Then I'm going to go ahead. So next I'm gonna take the container. So container and let's add a background color first. That's going to be a hex value E6D5B8. And I'm gonna add just this a little bit. Let's make it maybe something like that. Alright, then I'm gonna make or add some padding, a border radius, let's say 10%. Okay, let's add a box shadow, let's say 4 pixels, 4 pixels, 8 pixels of blur, 0, 0, 0, 0.75. Okay, there's a good box shadow. Then the positioning is going to be relative. We'll text align everything at the center. And the width of this container will be 500 pixels. So there we go. Okay, and since I'm using percentages over here, that's a little too much maybe. I'm gonna go with 25 pixels. Alright, I guess that's good. I could also center align this, so margin 0 auto. There we go. So then I'm gonna select the H2 and H1 elements, but first I'm gonna select the H2. So I'm gonna make the background color green. Alright, let's use HSL values. I'm gonna use something like, I guess that's good. Okay, then the color I'm not gonna do anything for that, but a little bit of padding would be good. 10 pixels. Border radius, let's say 10 pixels. Alright. And there we go, we got the heading. Alright. Then I guess I'm going to style the H1. The margin will be 0. Yeah, the H1 is gonna be the word, and we don't have that yet. But we are not really going to need any special styles for that. So yep, there we go. And then I'm gonna take the input element. This is something that we are gonna have to style many times. Let's set the background color to be white first of all. Then the border, none. You can also use 0. Oh, whoops. That would also work. Let's use 0 actually. Then we can say or set the border radius. Let's try 10 pixels. Okay, that's gonna be good because I'm going to increase the size. So font size 16 pixels. No outline. Well, that's basically already... Actually, no, when I hover over it, there's an outline. No outline. Okay, it's not there anymore. So yeah, there's not any type of borders. Then I'm gonna take the width. That's gonna be 300 pixels. The height will be 50, maybe 35. Yeah, let's go with that. And then padding will be 10 pixels by 20 pixels. There we go. And finally, margin top 10 pixels. There we go. Alright. So yeah, when the H1 header comes here from the JS file, it's gonna have some margin. Maybe I'm gonna make this 15, so it's not as cramped. Alright, then I'm gonna go and take the input, type equals text, and I'm gonna take the hover pseudo class. The background color will be HSL. It will be white but a little bit less bright, so when we hover, this happens. Okay, then I'm just gonna copy this, paste it. I'm gonna take the active pseudo class, and the active will be at 80%, so when I click this, it flashes. There we go. Then I'm going to take the placeholder. So input type is gonna be text and placeholder, and I'm going to set the font size to be 16 pixels. The font weight will be bold and the color will be black. There we go. We got one more thing to style, because right now when we write something in, it's you know, it's going to be not bold text, so we're gonna make that into bold. So I'm gonna take the focus pseudo class, so input type equals text and the focus, and then font weight will be bold. So when we write something in, it's gonna be bold text. Alright, wonderful. Then I'm gonna go ahead and get the score container with the same clasp. So score container, and I'm gonna set the position to absolute. This doesn't exist yet, or it kinda does, but yeah. The top will be set to, let's say, 60 pixels and the left to 20 pixels. So now we got the score. Alright. Even though it's at a little bit of a bad place, to be honest. Well, I'm gonna put the time container next. We can fix these things later, but let's style this first. This one is also going to be top 60 pixels and the left 20 pixels. So yeah, their timer container, there's nothing inside of yet, except the time left. Because we are going to be basically creating that in JavaScript. So yeah. And I made a little spelling error. Time container. There we go. Okay, right now they are on top of each other, so I'm gonna make this left one like 120, 320, 420 pixels. Let's see if it's overflowing. No, it's not. So I can increase the top value to 70, 80 pixels, let's say. Also, why not just increase the container size? Let's make the height like 800 pixels. There we go. Okay, maybe 500 is going to be enough. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then, yeah. We still have the endgame container that we are going to be creating in JavaScript, so the background color will be inherited. Display will be none. Initially, we'll only display this if the game ends. The flex direction will be a column. Justify content will be center. Align items, center. The position will be absolute, and the top will be 0, left will be 0, width will be 100% as well as the height. And the z-index will be 1, so it will be shown above this container. And then we got the after game button, and I'm going to add some styles into that. Okay, so padding. Actually, we don't have to set that. We already set the button class up here. So yeah. But I'm gonna add the background color of this. And then I'm going to make the color white, font size 20 pixels, and font weight will be bold. Then I'm gonna take this same class and the hover pseudo class, and then I'm gonna add the background color. I'm gonna copy the same one we have here, but this time I'm gonna make the lightness go a little bit down, so 60%. So yeah, there we go. Then I'm going to take the active pseudo class. There we go. And let's set it to be 50%. Okay, and we are pretty much done with the styling as well. Also, I gotta align this score. So, score container top. Let's set it to be 80 pixels. There we go. Alright, then we can go ahead and start typing the JavaScript. So, we gotta go ahead and first bring in a ton of elements. So document, let's say const word equals document get element by ID. The ID will be word. So yeah, we don't have anything inside of here with the ID word yet. We are going to display that inside of here, but we still need a reference to this element. So that's why we have this. Okay. And then I'm gonna get the text. The ID will be text. Then score element. will be document get element by ID, and the ID will be score. So we got this one right now, the span element. Then time element, that's going to be document get element by ID, time. Then we gotta get the end game element, make it equal to document get element by ID, and the ID is end game container. There we go. And then let's get the... Actually, we're not going to need more. Yeah. Alright. Next we'll create the words. So let's create an array. Const words equals an array. And we are gonna have the words apple, steer, 8. And by the way, you can add in as many words as you want to. And drags, loving, 9, elementary, programmer, another, then we're gonna have voice, Python, and Java. So yeah, if you want to, you can add more words. The more words, the better it is, but this is going to be enough. Okay, then we will create a variable random word. We'll set the score equal to 0 and the time equal to 12. That will be in seconds. Then we will focus on the text. So text.focus. And after that we will start a countdown. So const time interval equals set interval update time every 1000 milliseconds. So every second. Alright. Then we will generate a random word function. Get random word. So we will return the words array and use the mat.floor. Basically we are going to get a random index number outside of the array. And then we'll say mat.random times the length of the array. There we go. And I'm also going to need that one. And at the end, this one. So yeah, there we go. Alright. And a semicolon and only one of those. So yeah. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit. Yep, that looks good. So we got it inside of some straight brackets, and then we pick a random word from this array. Alright, and we will return it out of the function. Then we gotta make the word appear on the web page. So we are going to create a function. Function add word to the document object model. And then I'm going to create a return words. No, we already did that. I'm gonna say random word equals get random word function. So we will assign the random word variable into the whatever is returned from this function. Then we will take the word inner HTML and make it equal to random word. So yeah, the word is going to be shown in an h1 element. So this is the word, for example. It will be looking like that. I'm gonna add a style attribute and I'm gonna add a little bit of margin, let's say 10 pixels. So when I type in something, it's not gonna be as cramped. And also the container is a little bit too high. Let's set this to be 400. That's good. Alright. Then, after this, we are going to basically update the score. So we gotta go call the function add word to DOM, and then we'll update the score. So function update score. The score will be incremented by 1, and the score element and the inner HTML will be equal to the variable of score. Then we gotta also update the time. So function update time, we will decrement this one by 1 every 1000 milliseconds. That's why we got the time interval over here. So we are going to set the time element dot inner HTML. Okay, my phone is ringing. I'm sorry for that. And then we're gonna set that to equal time plus seconds. So yeah, it will get the time. Yeah, the time element. So yep, there we go. And then semicolon, of course. And then we'll check if the time goes to 0, strictly to 0, we will clear the interval with the name of time interval. And we will do the game over function. And that's what we are going to work on next. So we will make a function game over. Alright. Then inside of here we are going to create some HTML elements. So yeah. Right now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna type in end game element dot inner HTML equals a template literal. I'm gonna say h1 time ran out, and then make sure to close this one because it doesn't happen automatically in JavaScript. I'm also gonna add an indent. Then I'm gonna take the paragraph and say your final score is, I'm gonna add a placeholder score. This can actually cause some issues because we have okay, I'm gonna use points because the score is a variable. Alright, and then after the paragraph we gotta make sure to close that, by the way, and then we are going to add a button. It will have the on click set to location dot reload and a class set to after game button. So yeah, this is the class that we styled at the end over here. So yep. What's wrong with this? Declaration or statement expected. Ah, my backtick is over there. Well, that's That's all. That explains a lot. Okay, I can go ahead and basically add another backtick here with a, you know, this one. So now when we refresh the page, we will always get a random word. Or not always, but usually. Alright. And the button will have the text restart. Alright, and then we have to make the end game element access the style and the display and make it equal to flex. Then we will take the text, add event listener. We will listen for input. Then the event will be provided for us by the browser, and then we are going to do this. So const inserted text equals event or e dot target dot value, and then if the inserted text is equal to random word, we are going to add the word to the DOM or execute that function. Otherwise, and then we are also going to update the score. Alright. Otherwise, we are not gonna be doing anything. Alright. So I'm gonna say e.target.value is going to be an empty string. So that's just because when we enter the word, we don't have to manually clear this input box. It's going to be cleared with this line of code. So yeah. Okay, there's my end game container. The flex direction is supposed to be column. And when we go here, the end game element should be using the flex display. Well, I guess that's okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to say margin top 50 pixels or 40. Okay, so now the counter is running. I still have to do a couple of things. Alright, there we go. Then I'm going to increment the time by 1 with every correct word and update the time. And that's it. That's all we have to create in order to create this project. So yeah, this is a pretty easy and fun project to create. So yeah, I hope you were able to learn something new from this and have fun creating this. And that is not going down for some reason. Okay, we have this. We have the class endgame container. I'm gonna add margin top 10 pixels. Okay, well, it's going down like that. Endgamer. Oh my god, I just typed it wrong. Anyways, let's try the game out. Loving. Okay, score is 1. Okay, we got loving twice. Python, drags 9, Python, steer. Okay, final points 7. And we are actually showing an extra one of those in here somewhere. Well, that doesn't matter. I'm gonna find it if I want to, but yeah, let's restart. The border is not actually gone on the after game button, so I'm gonna set border none. Alright, steer, Python, drags, elementary, another, loving, 8, Python. Okay, time ran out. Maybe I should make the time to be plus equals 3. So maybe then it's gonna be better. Alright, so yeah, we are going to get 3 seconds every time. So yeah, that's definitely a lot better. Let's wait for the time to end. 5 more seconds and we are gonna be done. There we go, time ran out, your final points is 6. And now the button looks right as well. So yeah, that's how you can create a typing speed game with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This is a pretty simple version. We can add a lot more functionalities to this, but yeah. Anyways, I hope you were able to learn something new from this one. Feel free to use the same code as I did, and yeah. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye bye.